All right, so I've been hearing a lot of talks about Conor McGregor disqualifying himself in the Mayweather fight, right? And yeah, people say no, he won't do it. He's getting fined. Let's talk about what he's can lose if he were to do an illegal move on Mayweather, right? First of all, doing an illegal move could result in a disqualification. The commission can fine you. All right, the commission can fine you. So that's money lost, right? Um, Also, one can debate how this can affect him as an attraction. You know, One may say, well, no one's ever going to watch him again if he's disqualifying himself. He may rub a lot of people the wrong way, especially in the sports world. It could sports fans take rules very serious. You'll be surprised, but they take the rules very serious. But some may say, well, man, he won't care. They're going to say he's a UFC fighter, and real fighters throw kicks, and real fighters go for takedowns, and blah blah blah. Right. So that's that. But most importantly, he's going to give up a big chunk of not his entire purse. Right. So Mayweather's going to go home with all the money if he gets disqualified. So that's number one. Now, there's the obvious. But let's talk about this. I honestly believe all that is, in a weird way, honestly, it's being put on a spotlight for promotion. That's what I believe, right? Let me tell everybody right now, professional boxing has been around for a very, very long time. And throughout the years, former kickboxers, collegiate wrestlers, Muay Thai fighters, fighters of other combat sports have participated in boxing. And outside of an obscure scenario, which I can't find one. I cannot find a situation where a former Muay Thai fighter went ape shit and started throwing knees. I can't find a situation where a wrestler went for a takedown. I can't find a situation where a kickboxer all of a sudden started striking the knees of a boxer, right? In a professional boxing fight. Now, I'm not saying these things have never happened, but it's just not something that's known to happen. All right. In preparation for a boxing fight, you are in that mode. When you're in that ring, you're following directions from a referee. People could jump into that ring within seconds, 1 or 2 seconds. If Conor McGregor were to try something, he would look ridiculous in doing it. Right? If Conor McGregor were to throw a kick to Mayweather, like kick him in the leg or something, right? I could almost guarantee you that crowd is going to boo, right? They'd be like, what the fuck? Like, we didn't pay all this money to see this shit. Because that's illegal, right? It would be up there with Mike Tyson biting the ear off. Okay, it just wouldn't happen. Now, some say, well, it's not that he's going to intentionally do it. Maybe his muscle memory will kick in. And let me tell you something. If Conor McGregor's having trouble with muscle memory and knee-jerk reactions to throat kicks, and then he's going to have a worse performance than I thought, right? He's going to be conflicted with his muscle memory and him trying to find a boxing strategy in a boxing match against Mayweather. He's in a world of trouble, right? He's just in a world of trouble. Now again, let's kind of put in this perspective, right? Let's say Randy Couture were to box James Toney, right? People might say the same thing. Oh, what if Randy Couture goes MMA and takes him down, right? Now, we all saw the Randy Couture James Toney fight. We don't have to talk about what happened. But if it was in a boxing ring and Randy Couture went for a takedown, the ref would immediately come from behind Randy and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Plus, he's wearing boxing gloves. That's another thing people are not considering. Boxing gloves are not very ideal for grappling, but But that aside, right? People would jump in the ring and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" If he's not disqualified, he would have a point deducted, and then the fight will continue again on their feet, right? Like this scenario, people, I just think it's the promotion is putting that out there, right? Indirectly to put it in people's heads, right? It's another way to sell the fight. Like I said, former Muay Thai fighters, and they never started grabbing boxers from the back of the neck and started throwing knees. It never happened. I can't find it, right? I'm sure it's a sport that's had a lot of boxing fights, right? And all levels. So I'm sure it's happened somewhere, but I can't find it. Chris Algieri used to be a kickboxer. I don't see him throwing roundhouse kicks or like when Pacquiao was making him do backflips in the ring. I didn't see him start throwing roundhouse kicks or anything, right? That didn't happen. Like, it's just not, you just don't do that. That's kind of the equivalent of, well, not really the equivalent because this is a contact sport. It's a combat sport, but I mean, but that would be like a football player going to baseball and and then they go and they tackle the runner, instead of getting them out. Like, people would be like, what the hell? Like, are you going to have your meatheads that are going to be like, will the meatheads be like, oh yeah, football's better? Oh! Like, yeah, but the most reasonable people are going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? That's stupid. What are you doing? Like, what the hell are you doing? So I don't think this is going to happen. Okay, if anything, they just put that shit to put in his head, right? Let me tell you something. We saw it in the last fight. Like you know how many boxing fights I've seen where an elbow happens to hit I've seen fighters get knocked down because they got hit with a wrist. Okay, I remember the DeMarco Valero fight where DeMarco landed an elbow. It wasn't on purpose, by the way. I don't know. I can't get in their head, but it looked accidental. Fighters accidentally land elbows on dudes, especially when they're like on the inside. That's in the contract. They can't throw an elbow. Like that's going to be in his head. Like that's going to make it even worse for him. Conor is the first boxer in history that if he accidentally elbows somebody, could lose his entire fucking purse, right? And that's insane, right? Now, of course, and it doesn't even have to be in the contract. Like that's an illegal move in boxing. They could have just said if you get disqualified, right? But they're putting specific things, right? I heard somebody, I forgot who told me, but somebody told me, but they said, oh, the Superman punch is legal. To be honest with you, I don't think it's illegal now. Like, if somebody wants to jump in the air and throw a punch, I don't see why they can't do that. Like, there's nothing in the boxing rule book that says you can't. It's just not ideal to do it in a boxing match, okay? Superman punches are set up a lot. They're very successful in MMA because of kicks, okay? Mayweather doesn't have to worry about strikes from the waist down, okay, outside from, a low blow or something, okay? That's not, he doesn't have to worry about getting kicked in the leg or, like, any of that. Like, it's, okay, you want to throw a Superman punch? Okay, like, go ahead, dude. Like, do all the Superman punches you want. Like, let's see what happens to you in midair, okay? For this, like, I'm telling you, man. Maybe it is illegal. I have no idea, okay? But this whole idea of, no, but it's legal in this fight. Like, that's just the promotion, man. That's it. That's all that is, all right? It is a rare sight. If not, it's just a unrealistic sight that combat sports combatants from other combat sports go to boxing and start doing illegal moves in boxing. That is, you just don't see that. Okay, you don't even see that. Like you know, like when MMA fighters spar boxers, like they never start doing MMA moves. Okay, like you never heard a story of, oh, Lomachenko was boxing a UFC champion and out of nowhere he hit him with a kick. Like you just don't hear that because you're in a certain mode, right? You're in a certain tunnel vision and you're only working that's that one thing. And there's just I find it very improbable that Conor McGregor is gonna just all of a sudden start kicking Mayweather. Like, you know what I mean? It's not the way people envision it. Like, oh no, if he starts doing that, he's gonna take Floyd down and then mount him and then start grounding and pounding him. He's gonna hurt him. Like it's not even gonna get to that point. Okay, there's gonna be, all right, 30 people in the ring in a matter of 3 seconds, right? That's not gonna happen, all right? But what if he throws a high kick and knocks him out? Then everybody's going to be like, what the fuck? That's what's going to happen, right? Especially since you're kicking someone who's not expecting a kick because kicks are illegal, all right? That's an illegal move. You know, and anybody who says, no, but it's badass, it'll show him. Like, how is it going to show him? Like, people who think like that, right? Honestly, I have a hard time believing they're sports fans. That's number one, okay? Number two, I don't know, man. They just have a very primitive mindset, okay? Very primitive. But, you know, that would be the equivalent of, like, to me, it's kind of like, even if you don't like Tom Brady, right? Do you like when Tom Brady gets sacked? Hell yeah, right? But could you imagine, like, they're in the huddle, and then, like, they're not even playing yet. There's no hike, nothing, right? Tom Brady's just chilling there talking to somebody, and then a player just runs up to him full blast and gives him the biggest fucking, tackle imaginable, just blindsides him. And it looks devastating. Everybody will be like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? So I don't see that happening, all right? Okay, it just isn't going to happen, right? It's not going to happen, right? This is just the way it's being. This is being used to. It's obviously it has people talking. Like, oh man, what if McGregor does this, and what if he does that, and what if he just goes MMA shit on him? Like, it isn't going to happen, right? It's just I don't. That would be a bizarre, situation, right? That would be very, very bizarre, right? Conor would probably not be able to fight in the States for a while, right? I mean, but he'll fight Ireland. Look, that's fine, but he would lose a lot of money, and he would lose a lot of respect in the sports world, right? I know that there's a lot of MMA fans that only watch MMA and don't really understand that, but that's what would happen, right? I saw someone, I never heard Joe Rogan say this, but I heard someone say that Joe Rogan says that, and I don't know, again, I don't know the context behind this, but if this is true, then Joe Rogan's stupid. But that Joe Rogan said, oh, if Conor kicks and knocks out Mayweather, he'll be he'll be admired or some shit like that. Like, when I read whoever said that, I just, first of all, I don't know. I don't even believe he said it, okay? Or even insinuated it, but there's just no way, I don't see that, okay? I don't personally see that. I just don't, right? Outside of, like, hardcore MMA fans that don't watch other sports, everyone else will be like, what the fuck? I want my money back, right? That's what would happen, right? And that's that, okay? But I don't think he's gonna get disqualified, right? It's nobody wants to get disqualified, right? It's just nobody wants that. Nobody wants the questions after you're disqualified being asked. Okay, nobody wants to hear these questions. No, it's like just picture it. Like you've just been disqualified. Everybody's booing. Everybody feels ripped off, and you are the reason that all this is happening, right? It's every question's going to be, you challenged him to a boxing fight. What were you doing, right? No amounts of, well, mate, none of it. It's not going to help. So I don't see it happening. Plus, it's the media didn't pump it up so much. Like, to be honest, for some reason, it's only when MMA fighters, like, I don't know why. But if this was a kickboxer or a Muay Thai fighter or just a guy who has a wrestling background, which a lot of boxers have, you just never see that, right? Like it's just not something you see. Like, it's not something they do. All right. I'm thinking of fighters right now, like Jeremy Williams, right? Half man, half amazing. Jeremy Williams, right? Was a judoka. He had 5 MMA matches. He was 5-0 in MMA, right? He never once, okay, in a professional boxing fight, he never threw a boxer, okay. He never did judo moves while they were fighting in the inside and holding. Okay, it just didn't happen. Okay, it's just like you would this whole idea that Connor's gonna do it's just to gather interest. That's all right? There's other boxers that are black belts in certain martial arts or wrestled in high school or college or they have some type of background in whatever, right? They never do it. It never happens, right? A lot of Muay Thai fighters in Thailand also do professional boxing. They don't start throwing knees in the fucking ring, right? It's for some reason with this fight, and maybe it's because of Connor's character. I don't know what it is. Like, people think it's a possibility, and the fact, to me, it's just, isn't it obvious, you guys, that that's just one other reason to make you watch the fight? It's brilliant marketing, don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on their hustle, but I'm just saying that's what it is, right? But anyway, this is DStyle, and I'm out.